Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and today I want to talk about esports. Recently the Overwatch Open concluded and it came down to a grand final match between Envy and Misfits. And it was definitely an excellent match to watch, with all players exhibiting excellent teamwork and high levels of skill in the game. But what I wanted to talk about is just how esports is breaking into the mainstream and becoming more accepted and legitimized by the public at large. Now, obviously, it's still got a long way to go before we see it being as popular as the physical sports out there, but what is interesting is just how far gaming has come as a whole. The Overwatch Open was, as the name suggests, an open tournament with anyone and everyone who plays the game being encouraged to form a team and sign up. The prize pool was $300,000 US, which makes this the largest prize pool in Overwatch right now, as well as putting it within the top 100 highest paying tournaments in the world. The number one spot, of course, goes to the International, which paid out $20.7 million in winnings this year. And according to esportsearnings.com, the total payouts of just the top 10 tournaments makes up over $70 million that have been paid out to date, and that's a lot of money. Sure, about 8 of the 10 are Dota 2 tournaments, but that also says something about just how big esports is as a whole right now. But beyond the money, there's also the coverage, and while the major tournaments are all viewable on Twitch or through proprietary streaming services, mainstream media has been getting in on the action too, with sports-focused networks such as ESPN providing coverage and TBS making big moves towards coverage, it even providing televised coverage of the Overwatch Open I spoke about earlier. It's clear that we will be seeing more and more esports being shown on the TVs in the near future. But why is this happening at all? Well, aside from the easy answer being that it makes money, it's clear to many by now that there's an interest in something like this. Clearly, there's a market for such tournaments, and for the media, that means there's an audience that wants to see it. Personally, I've never had that much interest in competitive gaming until I started playing Overwatch, and while I haven't had the chance to watch too much of the Open, I still come back and watch bits and pieces here and there whenever I can. And of course, with it being on TV, the audience is quite likely to grow simply by it being watchable on more sources than just gaming-specific websites. The only thing right now, for Overwatch at least, is that it's fairly new as a sport, and still has room to grow, but I don't doubt that the overall scene will continue to grow over the next year. And of course, if we're talking about the level of skill in the games, I mean, one of the complaints very early on with Overwatch, and indeed with many esports, is that the skill gap is very wide. You have those teams that are at the top of their game, and then there's nobody else to fill in the ranks. But I think over time, that's sort of something that will normalize itself. We might end up seeing the same few teams come out at the top, but then over time we might end up with more up-and-coming teams that will be willing to take up the challenge. So, as time goes on, the scene will definitely mature, and I think Overwatch is definitely a game that we can all agree will be around for some time. But what do you guys think? Will MLG be as big as the MLB? And could the ESL become as big as the NFL? And what esports do you guys watch? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. My name is Panzer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.